Hey baby girl, I know you want some of that. Look, I'm eating chicken. I'm playing Catan with big-breasted women. You know I'm winning, stacking up my bread to the ceiling. I done beat my meat so many times, it has no feeling. I'm selling crack cocaine to children. My whole life I've been wheeling and dealing. What's up, pimps? I'm doing a giveaway. I got 5 jars full of my seed I just produced, and it's something you want. It has a lot of different, it's got a lot, my nut has a lot of, let's say, uses. You could drink it, triples your gains, a lot of protein, gives you a lot of energy and focus, kind of like a miracle drug. You could rub it in like some sort of exfoliant. That would also work. What else? It's great glue for, arts and crafts. I mean, you could use it as mortar. If you use my nut to build a house, that baby ain't falling down. Let me put it that way. So, yep, all you have to do to enter the giveaway, just follow, like, share, and comment. Please give me. That's all you have to comment. That's stupid. Okay. I have a question. That's what this video is about. I'm not going to pull it up. I've gotten this question like 18 different times, and it's, not that I really know the answer to anything besides maybe how to finger women really, really good. Masterfully, some would say. I know the answer to that, but besides that, I don't really know the answer. But this is just something I can relate to. Basically, what it is, guys just coming out of high school. They're like 18 years old. They're like they have a crossroads of different paths they could take. Go to college, or don't try something else. Work, or maybe go to the military. And what I basically wanted to talk about is that both options kind of suck ass, and it's a bad position we've been put into. This is too loud. It's being read. Sorry if that was too loud. It's a bad position we've been put into as young individuals, Generation Z, just coming out of these places, because we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And here's why. Okay, college. The good things about college: people, connections. I talk a lot about how community is dissolving. We don't have like these strong ties. Within society, there are no ways to facilitate actual community now. They've all been destroyed. And whether you think that's just the natural product of industrialization and capitalism, or it's some sort of an atomization plan by a global elite or whatever, it doesn't matter. The situation is still the same. Practically, it's the same thing. It's what is happening, and it's been observed as early as 20 years ago, and it's only gotten worse. It's been observed since like the 1990s, how our communities are dissolving. But in college, it's like the only place now where you're going to be around a bunch of people your age, if you have this age bracket. You rarely see, the most people you see, if you're not going to school, are old. They're just old. They're in their 30s or 40s or 50s, or they're above their 30s. And most of these people who don't seem to understand what I'm talking about, a lot of people do get it. And that's, I suppose, why people listen. But any comments or messages I get from people who don't understand, they're probably in college. They don't really see they don't really see effectively what's going on with community, or how relationships, or how, it's hard to meet people because they're in college, and it's super easy to meet people. Relationships are just everywhere. I don't even go to college. I have some friends who go to college, and so, like, a couple times when I went down there, just like gone to parties, when I stayed a night over there with my friends, I've made new friends going to college for like one day, and I don't even fucking go there. It's easy. If you just go to college and you stay in the dorms like your first or second year on campus, and you're not a complete Poindexter, you'll probably make friends. But let me tell you, if you don't go to college and you just immediately start working, you've isolated yourself. Because you'll find that the ways to meet people are just no longer in place. There are no tight-knit communities anymore. And you're just going around, you're doing all this stuff. Joining sports, going to church, trying to better yourself. All this shit. And, well, here's what I've found. Because I've talked about this before. Like, I'll meet people, and I suppose I could get into their group, but I just don't feel it. And I thought for a while it's just because I'm weird, or I don't like people, or I just don't want to put in the effort. But I realized that's not the case, because recently when I went down to visit a friend who goes to college, I met a kid in a party, and I realized all the way throughout school, I could kind of just tell when I could be friends with someone, like around the first days of school. And I had that with some people when I went down there, and I realized it's not me. I just haven't met people who I jive with, and I shouldn't have to force it. If I do force it, I'll just be around people I don't even like, and what's the point? So it's not me. It's just that I so rarely meet people in my age bracket that, the odds of me finding someone who I could get along with are so small. And it's not for a lack of trying. I have not met any new people. I so rarely meet new people. So it's kind of whack, and that's what happens when you don't go to college. You isolate yourself. But the bad parts about college is it is financially a terrible decision. Even if you go to STEM, the ROI is bad. The amount of stress, like, STEM is not easy. Maybe I guess you could just like use Wolfram Alpha for the whole thing, but that's kind of a joke. And I don't think you actually could do that. I feel like a lot of people who are engineering majors nowadays probably couldn't make it without that shit. And now there's this new thing that it can like write whole, I forgot what it's called, but it can write whole shits for you. That's a different topic of conversation. But yeah, this is why you're stuck between a cock and a rock, or whatever, a rock and a hard place, is because you go to college, it's terrible financially. You get a bunch of debt. The ROI is terrible. You go waste all this money. A lot of the stuff they're teaching is just outdated now because of this technology that you could just do everything. It's stupid. Or you don't go, and you isolate yourself. I try to do this Sigma male stuff, working jobs, and I got channels. Make sure all, stocks, options, do all this, work out. That's like, but I'm alone. I'm just I'm just walking around alone. Pretty much. Not like completely, but most days, weekdays, just daddy doing shit by himself. I live with people and stuff, so it's not that bad. And I know plenty of people have it a lot worse, just these guys living alone in apartments. So I'm not going to say it's that bad for me, but I have isolated myself from my peers because the friends that I've had are going to college. And I go up there and it's whatever. But kind of blows ass. And then there's I don't know if I have enough experience to talk about this. Well, okay. First, you should just use your personal, to the people who have asked me this question, should I go to college, whatever, you should always think about things in your personal situation that you might be taking for granted or not. Think about if you already have like good social connections and a lot of your friends aren't going to college, then you probably shouldn't. You could go straight into working, join a trade, do something like that. If you don't have that, and you've always been like an academically good student, maybe you get a little bit of financial aid, some sort of scholarship, obviously go to college. If you have any sort of way to remove the cost, maybe you're like a Native American or something, go to college. You know, I would advise going to college because of the connection. You're so rarely going to be able to meet people. Like college relationships are just offered you. It's an artificial environment. And a lot of people who don't get it are taking it for granted because once you go out into the real world, you start like a professional job, and you're just by yourself. It's not like, it ain't like Friends, that show. You're not just going to go like serendipitously meet a group of lovely individuals who become your new family. You're by yourself. We are atomized. The world is atomized. Maybe you'd meet someone in your job normally, but if you're like 18 going straight into the professional world, you're not, because everybody's going to be so much older than you. And it's like, and I've isolated myself even further because most people who I would meet also go to college. And I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of gay. Kind of bad. But, yeah, it's pretty whack. And what I was going to say, joining the military, I know a couple guys who went to the military. I can't really speak on it. But from the things I talked about, it is like a social environment. There will be people your age, and also it's not terrible financially. But I've heard that sometimes it could just kind of blow ass. I don't know what they do there. There probably aren't very many hoes. Probably a lot more hoes in college than the military. Would be my guess, depending on where you go. But I don't know what they do. They do push-ups and shit. Sounds kind of neat. Honestly, I might go to college. I might just like wait. In September, I might just go to college. I thought I wasn't going to do it because it is a waste of money, but like, what the fuck? I'm just sitting here trying not to play with myself. Hanging around the same jack-offs I've been hanging around for the last 9 years, and even then I'm losing. I'm like, they're going to college. And it's like, what am I supposed to do, dog? I very rarely meet new people. And I don't use the internet to do that shit because I don't like it. I don't think that works. So, yup. Yippity-doo-dah. I just want to talk about how it's a hard situation. You know, take your situation into account. If you could go to college and you have rich parents or whatever, go. That's also a thing. If you have wealthy parents, go. because you'll probably isolate yourself if you don't. If you go straight into a trade, if you go straight to working a bunch of jobs and doing all this shit, you'll just be very, lonely. Maybe you won't be lonely. I think it's like kind of different for different people. But yeah, that's all. That's my 2 cents on that topic.